What up? What up? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. We didn't have any shows over the weekend. I know we had a best bet winner on Friday. I honestly can't remember how Friday went, but I think it was a 2 and 3 day overall. But if I could just stick to these best bets with the show, man, it wouldn't be a cold streak. So we've been in a little bit of a slump overall. It's a new week though. So we starting with the NBA in-season tournament elimination games now. I know we have a Monday night football game for tonight as well, so we'll get to it. And as always, let me take a look at the chat. Appreciate you guys tapping in. What up, Nathan? Says he's first again. And a lot of people talking about that Chiefs game. Says NFL is rigged. I'm gonna be real. Daryl says that PI no call was a Vegas call. I'm gonna be real. Football, if there was one sport that's the most rigged, it's football for sure. Guaranteed, 100%. I know some iffy stuff goes on in all the sports, but I guess we can have, before we get started, I know it'll be a very short show anyway. We'll start off the show with a story time with Ski. But when I learned that football was rigged, is I bet on a game. I forget who it is now. It's been a little bit long time, but um maybe it was the Cardinals. Cardinals versus somebody. The spread was -2.5 for Arizona, and they threw a Hail Mary. Hopkins catches it in the end zone. They go up by two. They just need to kick the extra point to cover the game. These dudes go out there and nail the extra point. Like no time is running off the clock. They just nail. I've never ever seen that besides that one time, and it cost a lot of people money, myself included. And at that point, I knew for sure. Because why would you nail the extra point? It just made no sense to me. But hopefully it didn't cost too many people with however the football game went yesterday. Mario made some money with it. He had the 49ers. With Daryl, Net, Mario already talking about the NBA. He's ready. Dr. Shilly, appreciate you tuning in. Saturated says NBA lazy as hell, 2 games. They're trying to make me bet the NFL. Well, hopefully there'll at least be 2 competitive games. That's supposed to be the whole point of this tournament, right? So we shall see. Raven Ron, what up, Flash? Appreciate you tuning in as well. Hope all is going well on your end. What up, Munoz? G Martinez says the NBA is rigged too. Saturated says Scott Foster would like a word. And G Martinez says it's all rigged. Well, we got to find the fix then, right? We got to find the fix. And Jaden says that was against the Bills. He lost too. Yeah, that was bullshit, bro. For real. Like after that, I just knew. Star Child reminding everybody to hit the like button. Appreciate that. Definitely helps out the show. Boofer says it's all about player safety. They're not shaving points. Sharon, what up? All right, let's get to it. Like I said, and right now it says story time. But let's get to it. 2 NBA games. I have a little bit of something to share for NFL, just as far as giving you guys info because I'm not betting it. So maybe you know what? We will start with the NFL. We'll get it out the way. And we have the Bengals at the Jaguars opened up or right now we're looking at Jaguars -10. I think the opener was 6.5, and we have a total of 40. So I'm gonna be real brief with this and just share the information that I had. Looking at 2 props here. One of them will be Evan Ingram over 45.5 receiving yards. Ingram, he averages 55 receiving yards a game versus bottom 10 defenses against tight ends. Cincinnati allows the second most receiving yards per game to tight ends at 70.8. So just matching those two up, I think Evan Ingram might be worth a look there. And then on the other prop, we're going to take a look at Joe Mixon over 20.5 receiving yards. Mixon, I think he's hit this, 2 out of the 3 games that I looked here. My bad. So Mixon over 20.5 receiving yards. Jacksonville, second most receiving yards per game allowed to running backs at 59.4. And just looking at Mixon versus blitz heavy defense, he did pretty good versus Pittsburgh with 44 there. And running backs versus Jacksonville, they went over this number 8 out of 11 games. So Mixon over 20 and a half receiving yards or Ingram over 45 and a half receiving yards would be the ways I look to play this game. And I don't want to talk too much about the game itself because I haven't been too locked into football. So two props that just make sense as far as numbers are concerned. It would be the way that I would probably bet the game if I'm getting involved. Let's take a look at the chat really quick for NFL. I get money, likes the Jags on the first half. Let's see. Flash also likes the first half Jags. Ben thinks it's a little bit too much points. The line has moved too much. He's taking a stand with the Bengals plus 10 and the under. Daryl likes Ridley anytime touchdown. I'm not really talking to anybody off these props. I'm just trying to help share a little bit of information along with what I had here. Saturated likes Boyd on his receiving yards. Chase, that's all he has to get is 40 plus. Seems pretty light. Hey Snizzle, my boy, what up? Says smash the like for my homie. I appreciate you, bro. And you gotta add me on PlayStation, man. Starting to play a little bit more now. So add me on that PlayStation so we can get to it. Flash also likes the first half team total. So I'm seeing a lot of Jacksonville early. Why don't we like them late? That's what I would be interested to know. Why only early? Is it because the point spread is cheaper? What about the first half do you like here for Jacksonville? Everybody. And here's Brian. Says Jacksonville 9-2 first half ATS. That's the reason I like it. Daryl likes Mac over 1.5 field goals. And I think that will be it. Official gym class podcast is what am I playing on the PlayStation? I played 3 games pretty much my entire life whenever I had a system. NBA 2K, Madden, or Call of Duty. All three. Those are only 3 games I really play. So if you guys would like to play with me on PlayStation, my gamer tag is Ski Profit with an underscore after. All right, let's get over to NBA. And we have 2 games on the slate. The first one is 5:55, 5:56. Celtics heading into Indiana to take on the Pacers. Opened up Celtics minus 4.5. They're now 5.5 point favorite pretty much everywhere. A couple fives out there, but mostly 5.5. Total opened up 237.5. A lot of movement, 7 points up towards the over, and that makes a hell of a lot of sense as well. Let me just refresh the injury report. Porzingis, I do know is out for the Celtics. For Indiana, Halliburton is game time decision. I think what did he have? A knee bruise and illness. I kind of thought they were just being precautionary for this game, but he's still on the injury report along with Obi Toppin. And then Jalen Smith is going to be out for this Pacers team. So I do like. I mean, it's a couple of different ways to look at this game. A couple of different ways I was considering. I guess we'll start with the first quarter, and I mean, we'll start with the movement on the total in general. Up 7 points, and I mean, it makes sense. I'm not betting this game any other way. Whenever the Pacers are playing, I get that the tournament, the in season tournament, is supposed to be more like playoff. Maybe you see defense, but I just don't think Indiana's that capable of stopping anybody. And at the same time, I don't see any defense really slowing down the pace for this Pacers team. So both teams, well, Indiana fifth in pace last 5 games, Celtics 12th, and Indiana the number one offensive rated team uh, and bottom 5 defensive rated team. I just think that's the way the game is played. They've only won under 2 games all season. Why would you try to bet the under on their game now until we get a number that's probably in the 250s for Indiana games? So that's my initial thought here. But I think when I look more into it, why don't we look towards the over early? And let me just see what numbers we're getting here. So on the first quarter, I'm seeing it opened 61. You can get a 61.5 at draft. It's all over the place. So line shop if you like it. But you can get 61.5 at DraftKings. You can get 62 at a lot of other shops. And then a lot of these Vegas books have 62.5. So they're thinking along the same lines as me. The first half open 119.5, already up to as high as 124. So I think it's early. I mean, you have teams that are number one and number two in first quarter and first half points per game, 32, 32.2, 62 and a half, 63.4. The difference is Celtics are capable of playing defense. Um, they do also hold their opponents in that first quarter. But like I stated earlier, I just don't think it happens to this Pacers team. Um, Last time these teams played, well, Boston put up 155. I mean, a lot of offense should be available here. The thing I would try to avoid is Boston. They're the they're the worst scoring third quarter team. They're ranked 30th. I think it's around 25 points per game in that third quarter. So they come out the gate strong and not so much, after halftime. So I would try to avoid that if I like to over here, play either the first quarter or first half. Don't really have a preference on either. But those maybe the 61 and a half. I think you're getting a little bit, fairer number if you can still get that at DraftKings. But we've seen times where Indiana will have, a modest first quarter and then explode in the second quarter. So maybe one where you split them up, first quarter, first half. The only way I could think is the over as far as that's concerned. And then the side, this makes me nervous for these playing games because I mean, if it's a playoff game, Boston is 100% winning this game, 100%. But are they going to play it with that much intensity and effort? That's what I got to worry about. Pacers, I feel like a lot more younger guys over there might care about this prize money a little bit more. And last time they lost to this team was by 50. I mean, you remember those kind of losses. Want to get a little bit of revenge. So honestly, I couldn't take the Celtics here. I think I would lean a little bit more towards the Pacers in this game at the house, catching the points. And if I feel like that, if I'm liking the Pacers, I'm thinking there's points scored. So maybe you do team total. I'm not mad at any of that. That's how I view the game. And what I like even more than both of those things, I like Al Horford over 21 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. No Porzingis. And you look at Horford so far without Porzingis, 4 games. Um, he's averaging 27.3 on his PRA in those 4 games without Porzingis, getting about 4.5 more minutes per game. And you look at before, I didn't add them all together, but I'm gonna just say it like this: you guys will get the point. Horford with Porzingis in the lineup averages 7.6 points, 6.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists. Without Porzingis, almost double, 14 points, 9.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists. So Horford over 21 and a half PRA. That's the way I prefer to play this game. Let's take a look at the chat, see what you guys are looking at, see if there's any other gems that I maybe looked over. Can't talk anybody off of playing on Halley, even though he's a little bit banged up. But I told you guys what I like. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Said, what are you, 10 years old playing video games? I haven't played in a while. I didn't even have a system until recently. So start me up, I'm giving it another chance. Only because, and I really, my friends, they wanted me to play 2K with them because they needed more players for that 5-on-5 thing that they play. We used to play that all the time. And then the Call of Duty, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's throwback to when I was a kid. It's the same thing remastered. So I'm in. Leave me alone, Let me have a little bit of fun sometimes. Dr. Philly says you look like a Fortnite player. Absolutely not. Let's get to the game comments. Net likes over 242. Ben likes Celtics -5 and over 240. Not mad at an over. It's hard for me to get there with the Celtics, but if this was an actual playoff game, no way I'm taking the Pacers. Yeah, you on your own, brother. If you lean the under here, there's no way I'm betting the under in a Pacers game. Not right now. Total has to be at least 250. David says no Hallie, no Pacers for him. I would agree. Hallie is still game time. I think he'll play today, but we shall see. What's up, David? Abacott likes Jalen Brown over 5.5 rebounds. Should be more rebounds to be had, but I was looking around. I feel like nobody's rebounds really increased without Porzingis except for Horford. I mean, I didn't look too close at the guards, Derek White and Drew Holiday, but neither Tatum or Brown, really increased on that rebound stat. And I thought one of them might. Ray says this is an NBA show, not Call of Duty. Hey, it's also a show where we include the chat. So whatever the chat wants to talk about, if they have a question, That's what makes this show special and different from other shows. And the chat drops a lot of gems as well. So I hear you, Ray, but I'm just going what everybody's talking about. I gave a full breakdown on the game. What you want me to do? For 15 minutes in, I talked 10 minutes about that game, probably by myself. Flights, maybe 6 minutes. Flights Celtics team total over. You got a nice number if you took over 239 and a half last night. Absolutely. Ixnizzle says, I agree, Ski, but one quarter of not scoring in third or fourth worries me. He likes the first quarter over. Yeah, that's how I see it. Especially if it gets to like it's a close game in the second half. Maybe they do actually start to play defense and think about that money and play it like a playoff game. And look at Booper bringing the stats to back that up. Boston, third quarter, the under is 9-1 on the road. They're not scoring in that third. It's just not happening. Dr. Shelley says the Pacers make me think over. A meaningful elimination game makes me feel under. Therefore, I have to stay away. I understand that 100%. Says Pacers are going to force them to play fast no matter what. I throw the stats out the window for teams against the Pacers. Heat score 129 and 142. I agree that the Pacers make everybody play fast. The Heat game made sense too, though. I mean, two top 5 3-point shooting teams against two bottom 10 3-point defenses. Boston is pretty good defending the three. Boston's not as good shooting the three as the Heat are this season, but they do play with pace and they are capable of scoring. So I hear you, Minoff, and I agree with the thought process. Only way to play Pacers games is up and over. Gilbert says Obi Toppin's been going off lately. Daniel asking when did that nail on the point after? It was somebody in the chat said it was versus the Bills, maybe Cardinals versus Bills. I think it was around 2016 or 2015. It was somewhere around that time. Let's see. Kevin sharing a query or sharing a trend. Since 2003, home teams that got beat by more than 50 in their previous matchup are 8-1 to the over, clearing by an average of 15.9 points per game. Nice stat there. Egg Snizzle, like in that Horford play. Let's see. I think they're saying that first quarter is still going up to 63.5. Wow. Absolutely. We got to find the fix. Markel's looking for a triple double from Tatum, possibly. Sean, I didn't get too involved. On Saturday, I split 1-1. Hopefully, you had a winning weekend as well. Yeah, you want to get on me when I go out and drink, but then when I stay home and play the video game, it's still a problem. I can't do nothing, man. Yeah, I'm retired. I haven't been doing nothing. Chilling, just working on the games, and I might play a little bit now every now and then. Brian likes Tatum over 9.5 rebounds. Jimmy's sharing a Halliburton quote saying he's tired of being a loser. Says this is a great opportunity to showcase he's on the right track this year to the world. Good point. Likes the Pacers plus. That's a good point. Could be very motivated to showcase that here. A little bit more motivated than Boston, who has bigger things on their agenda than this in-season tournament. Ninja, didn't really look at these games for college basketball tonight. None of the 4 teams that I really care about or follow are on the schedule. I don't have a query for teams playing the same team within a month. G5. All right, let's see. A couple more comments before we move over to the next game. Yeah, Ninja, mostly with Rob Vino. He's a little bit more into college than I am right now. I get into college like 2024. That's when I really start to, get into it a little bit more. Those conference tourneys and obviously the big tournament. Other than that, I follow like 4 teams, and really this year it's been like more like one team. Kevin Johnson says totals this season greater than 235, 70, 42, and 2 to the over 63%. 240 plus gets even better. 28, 12, and 3. These high totals, high for a reason, says Kevin. And I would agree. Don't be scared of that number. It's not high enough yet. Wham Bam reminding everybody to hit the like button. Appreciate you as well, D Rock. Says this show is one of the best. Hit that like button. It does definitely help out the show quite a bit. Wham Bam in the building says he likes the Pelicans money line tonight. We're gonna talk about that one next. And to win the cup. And to win the cup. Hey, you might be cutting up a little bit there, Wham Bam. You know who the real team that care about the tournament is. All right, Ben James says when the team is away, I feel like this is a lot. It's already giving me. Let's see. When the team is away and team spread is -4 or higher, -4 to -9. I think he's saying. Yeah, this is too much for me, James. That's a little bit too much of the qualifiers. But I appreciate you still sharing. It just when I start thinking too much like this. It's like how Tony Fan always says, and other people say, like, well, what about when they had lunch here today? It just I don't like to put like between this point number and that point number, and then over the total too. It starts to get a little bit too much. Like I'm looking for situations in that query a little bit more than anything else. We have I can't say this name. Leon is the last name. Drew Holiday over 14 and a half points. Pacers allowed the most points, 32.2 points in the NBA to opposing guards. Last time he played the Pacers, he scored 51, but that was with the Bucks. So he's looking at Drew Holiday to do a little bit of scoring here. Marcus likes that look on the first quarter over. Um, let's see. A lot of comments coming in. Maybe I was talking for too long. Brian likes Drew Holiday rebounds as well. We have a Hield under 4.5 rebound prop parlay with Turner under threes. So fading those Pacers over there. Damian Hill likes the first quarter over in both games. Brian says Houston by the hook, heart attack, great game. We got the cast, that's all that matters. And VC says hit the like button. You heard? Take a look at some more. I don't want to ignore the comments. You guys took the time to share them. I'm trying to at least, see what we got here. A lot of good stuff being shared. And this is what we do here. We share information, find a winner, find some winners. The Office Gym Class Podcast says at halftime, focus on the guys who's taking the most shots and taking their point total over. Gordon, 8 points at halftime versus Kings. They had his live over under 14, finished with 17. Get a little bit of value on the numbers playing them live if you have live player props available. I understand. Bruce says, last time I took your advice on Houston Cougars hurt me last week. Oh, from what I remember, we've been winning. Cougars have only lost one time. So Bruce, I gotta call you up, bro. You making the wrong bets or something. Houston first half, out of all the times that I played, has lost one time. I think all season they've only lost one time in the first half. So we've already had comments come in saying it was a heart attack. We got the cash though. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, Bruce. Cougars have been a cash cow. All right, I think that is enough. But I got to get on Bruce. I don't like. I have enough losers. I don't need extra losers being put on my record here. It was a winner. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the next game, and that will be 557, 558 Pelicans and Kings. Opened up Kings -5. We are looking at -3 pretty much everywhere. Total opened up 232 and a half, and we're looking at 237. Injury report for the Pelicans: Larry Nance, Matt Ryan both out. For Kings, Alex Len is out, and Chris Duarte game time decision. And Bruce, you're not listening, brother. We don't play Houston first half. We play Houston. I mean, we don't play Houston full game. We play Houston first half. First half was -4.5. They won by 5. So you need to listen when we talk about these games. All right. I feel a lot of different ways about this one. My initial thought was run to the window and take the Pelicans. Um, just I felt like they were playing better basketball lately. When I look at the last 5 game stats, that's what they tell me. They've been a better offense, defense, rebounding team. I look a little bit closer. Um, like they've only won 2 of their last 5 games. So how good are they really even playing? I get that they've been covering the spread, maybe going back 10 games or so, but Sacramento, I like what I've seen from them lately. They beat Denver, they beat the Warriors in a nice comeback game that got them here to this position. So I really like what I've been seeing from Sacramento lately, probably a little bit more than the Pelicans. Like I feel like the last 5 game stats are including something where I don't know. I feel like Kings have been playing better. The stats are lying to me right now. And the other thing I'll say is that made me like the Pelicans initially is they've kind of owned this. How do you call it? I don't want to say series. When these teams meet, they've kind of owned the Kings. They've won 5 of the last 7 meetings, and Kings are not a team who protects the paint very well. The Pelicans are a team that wants to live in the paint. So I think that's why they usually have success versus team. And Pelicans also getting a couple guys, or they've gotten a couple guys back in the lineup as healthy as they've been in a while. CJ McCollum, Murphy, those guys have spread the floor for this Pelicans team so they can attack the paint. So a lot of things are making me want to take the Pelicans here. But things to not like about the Pelicans, it's their third game in 4 nights tonight. This is their sixth game played since Thanksgiving. They've been playing a hell of a lot of games lately. Compared to the Kings, they played 4 games since Thanksgiving, and it's their fourth straight home game. They've been chilling at home. They haven't had to do all this traveling and moving around. More rested team. Um, so the more I thought about it, I feel like the Kings can win this game. I think if you like the Pelicans, you should probably be getting involved early before potentially fatigue takes a toll on them. Or, I mean, who do you want? Who do you trust in this game in the fourth quarter? If it's fourth quarter and you need a bucket, you trusting the Kings and De'Aaron Fox, or you trusting the Pelicans and who knows who is getting the last shot? I'm taking the Kings. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the same this year as last year, but last year, De'Aaron Fox led the league in fourth quarter points per game. So I think this year has been LeBron. I, I want the Kings at the end of the game if it's a close game. So looking at these margins so far, first quarter for the Pelicans plus 2.3 compared to plus 1.6 for the Kings. I mean, both are good, but the Pelicans are a little bit better, and they're an underdog in this game. First half gets a little bit better, plus 5.5 for the Pelicans, minus 1.3 for the Kings. So Pelicans first half probably be the way I'll look if I like the Pelicans in this game. But that second half, and I might even bet this one, second half bet or bet live or however you call it. Second half margin is backing up how I'm thinking about these teams. Minus 4.7 for the Pelicans, plus 0.6 for the Kings. That's the only way I can think to play this one. You either take Pelicans early, or you take the Kings full game, or take the Kings second half. That's how I think the side is played out. As far as the total is concerned, I understand why it's going up what 4.5 points here, but I don't know if I necessarily agree. You do have a Kings team that plays extremely fast, especially when De'Aaron Fox is in the lineup. You have a Kings team who is not playing a hell of a lot of defense lately. Bottom 10 defensive rated team last 5 games. So, and a team that doesn't protect the paint well. So, if you add all those up, the Pelicans should be able to score. Should be an up tempo game, although the Pelicans prefer slower. I think the Kings can pace them up here. And I don't know. The thing that holds me up here is, and the numbers are not backing it up again. But I feel like if the Pelicans are going to win this game, they got to do it with defense. I don't think they're just going to go out there and beat the Kings in a track meet offensive type game. I feel like it's more of it got to be more of a slow it down defense, mostly type game from them. So I have that in the back of my mind, along with Mike Brown, who I feel like has been begging his team to play better defense lately, with it being an in season tournament game. We don't know if it's going to be played with playoff intensity or, it's a lot of things to be learned with these in season tournament games, with it being the first one for elimination. So I didn't quite get to the window yet with this one, but I told you a lot of ways that I'm leaning towards for this game. Let's take a look at the chat, see if they can help me out. I know there's some more good looks here in the chat as well. Let me scroll up because I know I was talking for 50 years. Net likes the Kings -3. Gilbert looking at Fox PRA. Abacot says McCollum over 5.5 assists. Tunis over 9.5 rebounds. No problem. I can't talk you off. Star Child likes the under. Mr. Contrarian Star Child and leans the Pelicans as well. That under, I'm feeling like a contrarian under in this game too. Honestly, the more I think about it. Fur S disagrees, says guaranteed over. What up, Anthony? Lucky Power also taking the Kings -3. He says it's a revenge spot for the Kings. Yeah, they have lost 2 games this year to this Pelicans team right before Thanksgiving, back to back. So it's a spot to get double revenge for this Kings team. Saturated liking some props. Says Javal double double or Valentunas. My bad, I read that wrong. Double double. I never see anybody type it like that. That's what threw me off. Like Zion points and Fox points. Chris Wright says Pelicans suck. Not a fan. And Munaf is in agreement with that Valley over 9.5 rebounds. Says he's had double-digit rebounds in 13 of the last 14 versus Kings. So an ain't broke, don't fix it type play on Valley rebounds. Can I talk you off? Sacramento not the greatest rebounding team as of late. Boofer says hit the like button. Should be over 120 right now. Appreciate you keeping us on track with that, Boofer. Definitely helps the show out. If you guys could hit the like button for me. Lucky Power says Pelicans going to run out of gas before the Kings. That I agree with 100%. Hey, happy birthday to you, Gerald. Says it's my born day. Let's get this money. Hey, hopefully I can provide you a winner for your birthday. But regardless, hope you have a wonderful day, man. Enjoy it. David says the line going down and back up a half. Getting some buyback on the Kings. Cater to you by Chef Jeff. So Chef Jeff likes Monk over 2.5 threes. Pelicans are a top 5 team defending the three. That's the only thing I'll say that I have against that prop. Bryce also looking at Monk, but 21 points, rebounds, and assists. Says he cleared that in 6 out of 8 home games this season. That sounds solid to me. Munaf says Fox has been asked versus the Pelicans. I think he missed one of those games that they just lost to them, but I could be mistaken. But Munaf not a fan of how he's looked there. Brian has the points in his pocket. S says Pels suck on the road. Daryl says they're not going to give it up that easy. And Joe, liking the Kings, he says for sure, easy. Chris Wright says lost back to back to Utah, no Laurie. Bulls, no Levine. Struggled to the fourth quarter versus Spurs with no Embiid. Just beat a 76ers team with no Embiid and Nuggets without Murray. They can't close games or shoot threes. A lot of good points being made. I agree with this as well. Says he took the Pelicans. He says his team is different now with the healthy squad getting Murphy and Alvarado back. Those games versus the Jazz were daring the Pelicans to shoot. So getting McCollum and Murphy back definitely help out with the spacing in that regard. Yes, saturated. Absolutely. Wham Bam like Zion to be turning MVP plus 2,000. Nice juicy prop right there. Wow. Now this is interesting. Jimmy Suarez says Pelicans are 17 and 0 to the under when the total is over 234 and they are not home dogs. Some food for thought. That is an interesting stat right there. They are not home dogs. Interesting. Appreciate you sharing. Had to think about that for a second. VC says, don't forget to smash the like button. I know you've been making money. Appreciate you. Dr. Shilly saying, yeah, first half was automatic last week. And she even came back. I'm not sure if it's he or she, so I apologize for that. You can correct me, you know. But they say first half was automatic last week, and I even came back to comment. It hit with these the first half. Appreciate you, Dr. Shilly. Um, Ken saying, what about Hawkins over 6.5 points for New Orleans? I definitely like what I've seen from him, and he absolutely can contribute. I don't have a reason to talk you off of that prop in this game. See if we can get a couple more comments. Armando thinks it's a little bit too much for this. Well, you're getting the games mixed up. It says the Pelicans are too much for this Pacers team. They don't play the Pacers tonight. I've heard that before. I think it's the Hair Official Gym Class podcast. Luis Martinez, appreciate you tuning in. Just glad I made the show. Best of luck to everybody today. Ski, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you as well. Thanks for tuning in. And Bryson, any news just come out on this one? Props just got locked up. Let me see. I did get a friend request on PlayStation, so I'll go add when I'm done, you know. But I'm not seeing any news right now. Nothing popped up for me. Nothing popping up for me right now. Munaf coming with some stats on Fox. He did play in both those games this season. Maybe it was like he was just coming back from injury or something. But says he was 5 for 18, 14 points. In the second game, he was 9 for 17, 26 points. But that first game was the second leg of a back to back for the Kings. All right. I get it. Fox not having the best time, but a little asterisk. First one, Kong's Clips with a good point. Pelicans out rebounded the Kings by double digits in both games this season. Rebounding last 5 games, they're neck and neck. But if they can do that again, that's a damn good way to stay in the game and keep it respectable, if not win. Um, Justin says you make me want to come out of PlayStation retirement. Yeah, we can all come out, man. Pause. Pause on that one. Bruce, I always have a best bet every single day on this show, Monday through Friday. BJ says Celtics are the best bet on the board. Good luck to me in the chat. So it is about that time. We've been on here for 38 minutes and we only had 2 games. This last comment here from Munaf. Sabonis has struggled as well. 16 out of 17 career games. Sabonis has scored 20 or less. Books adjusted to 17 and a half tonight. Appreciate you sharing. Yeah, gotta pause that one, man. Brian says, great show. Let's get it. So it's about that time where we get the best bets for the show. Always, I don't always, but I should try to do my promo because you guys know I do work with Wager Talk. So all of my work is up and available if you would like to be involved with everything that I do. And let's try to keep these best bets hot today. I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds, 10 seconds to guess what the best bet is for today. If you've been listening, you should know what it is. You should know what it is if you've been listening. So I'm gonna test who's been listening today. But last comment, Gilbert says no story time. Story time came at the beginning of the show today. Scroll back if you did care for story time. And Bryce Miller says that was a crazy pause. It was, man. I had to make sure I threw that in there. Hey, y'all be listening, man. I rock with y'all, man. Ixnizzle, Horford, Dave, Horford over PRA. Y'all know what the vibes are. My guy Dream would say, I get money, says Horford over PRA. Everybody in the chat, man, y'all be listening. Horford without Porzingis averages 27.3 points, rebounds, and assists, up from his, I'll do quick math, 14.28 from 17. He averages 17 in general with Porzingis on the court. or in general on the season. But without Porzingis specifically, 27.3, getting about 4.5 more minutes per game against an Indiana team who is bottom five defensively and rebounding last 5 games. A lot of opportunities for Horford. Also, a Pacers team who's dead last defending the three. Horford is more than capable of knocking down some threes. So Horford over 21 and a half points, rebounds, and assists will be the best bet for the show. Best of luck on all of your action. Like I always say, show is absolutely nothing without the chat. You guys help make this show what it is, and I appreciate you guys 100%. So yeah, best of luck if you tell. Good luck everybody on all your action. I'll catch y'all again tomorrow. Peace.